Hi everybody, so in this video we're going to talk about what a function is. So what you need out is your handout from in class today that has the word function in the middle and then the 4 sections on the outside, and we're just going to talk about those 4 sections. Okay, so first of all, here's our technical definition for a function. We said it's a relation where every input has only one output. And just a reminder, a relation is just a group or a set of ordered pairs. Okay? Our inputs mean the x values, the outputs are the y's. So again, a function is a relation where every input has only one output. Okay, for the main characteristics of functions, we can see if a relation is a function by using 2 of the shortcuts that we talked about in class. It's the kind of quick ways that we can see if something is a function. However, it's not our real technical reason. So the first one is, if we look at our relation and see, the x's can't repeat themselves. Okay, so you can't have 2 coordinates with the same x value that have different y's. The second is it must pass the vertical line test. Okay, in case you needed a further explanation on what the vertical line test is, on these 4 axes I'm going to draw 4 graphs, and this might help you with the back of your handout for homework. The first one, I am going to draw a line with a positive slope. For the second one, I'm going to draw an absolute value graph. For the third one, I'm going to draw a circular shape. And for the fourth one, I'm going to draw a horizontal line. Okay. For the vertical line test, essentially what it says is if you draw a vertical line at any point through the graph, if it only hits the graph once, it's a function. If it hits it more than once, it is not. So if we look at number 1, or kind of what I have as number 1 here, I can draw all of these vertical lines, and every vertical line I'm only hitting the graph once, that blue line, so this would be a function. In number 2, the absolute value graph, I can draw all the vertical lines I want. Each one only hits the graph once, so this is a function. In number 3, when I draw a line through the circle, I'm now hitting the graph twice, so this would not be a function. And to further elaborate on that, say I listed some points, maybe this point up here is 2, 2, and this point is 2, -4. We can see now that this should sort of make sense and start to bring some things together, because look at these x's. They're repeating. They have different y values. Okay, so every input in this graph did not have only one output. For the last example, if I draw any vertical line through my horizontal line, it only hits the graph once. So number 4 is also a function. For examples, you can include some that I just went through with you, but I also want to show you some different representations of things that would be functions. For instance, here's a table of values. And I'm just going to fill in any number here. So this would be a function. Our x values don't repeat. If I were to graph them, it would pass the vertical line test. Now, this is a nonlinear function, but that's okay. Functions could be linear or nonlinear. Let's say we had a mapping diagram. Okay, so here's our input. Here's our output. I'm going to put some numbers in here. And let's say 1 maps to 3, 2 maps to 5, 7 maps to 1, and 9 maps to 1. This is a function. Our x's don't repeat, and we can be sure of this by writing these as ordered pairs. Okay, if we were to plot them, it would again pass the vertical line test. So these are examples of functions in addition to the graphs that we just went over. Lastly, here are some examples of things that are not functions. So say we write the set of ordered pairs. This would not be a function. Yes, we see that shortcut that the x's repeat, but really the input of 2 does not have only one output. It has 2 of them, so this is not a function. Let's look at another, but from a mapping diagram. Okay, so I'm going to draw the mapping arrow. So let's say 1 maps to 7, 2 maps to 8, 3 maps to 5, but 3 also maps to 2. In this case, again, if it helps you, write these as coordinates so you can see it better. And we see again, each input does not have only one output, so this is not a function. When you are ready and you have filled in the entire front page of your handout, on the back page to reiterate what you are going to do. On Schoology is a bunch of pictures for you to print and cut out, and you're going to cut and paste them in the appropriate column on your handout, whether it's a function or not a function. If you are unable to print them, you can very neatly draw the pictures. Okay, if you don't draw them neat enough, it might become inaccurate. Or if you can find a way to manipulate the pictures on the computer and then print that out and put that in your binder, that's fine as well. Okay, so in all, both the front and the back piece of your handout should be finished by class on Thursday.